politics cannot be done without money. If you want to do politics, then there is requirement of money. All political parties require money for advertising, for grassroots campaigning, right, and whatnot. Therefore, the concept electoral bonds, through which the political parties receive funding from different organizations as well as the individuals. So recently, electoral bonds has been in news. We will be looking at this. So hello everyone, I am Rajesh Vats and we will be seeing the issue electoral bonds. This has been in the news recently in the Hindu as well as the Indian Express and in other different newspapers. So what is the context? Electoral bond scheme came up in 2018, and after that itself some NGOs like the Common Cause, Association Democratic Rights as well as Communist Party of India has filed petition against this, right? And recently the 5-judge bench, a constitutional bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chanchud, right? This constitutional bench has reserved a judgment regarding the electoral bonds and its the constitutional validity, right? So that is there. Why has been this electoral bond brought? First thing first, the government said that they want to bring transparency into the system. Therefore, there is requirement of this electoral bond. Therefore, under the Financial Bill 2017, in the budget itself of the 2017, through the Financial Bill 2017, the concept of electoral bonds came, and in 2018, through the Electoral Bond Scheme 2018, this electoral bond emerged, right? Now, what is this electoral bond? This electoral bond actually is a interest-free bearer instrument. Do you know bearer instrument? So, bearer instrument is such instrument in which there is no name of the receiver, right? The person who is holding that bearer bond, they are the owner of that bond, right? They are the owner of that money, right? So this kind of electoral bonds can be received by the political parties and they can encash it. There will not be any name written on this bond, right? Then who are eligible? Who are eligible for donations? So anyone, any individual, any citizen of India or incorporation or which is holding singly or jointly, so anyone can donate to political parties through electoral bonds. Now, which political party will you be able to donate? So according to Representation of Peoples Act 1951, under the section 29A, those political parties will be recognized, means those political parties who are recognized under section 29A of Representation of Peoples Act and who are holding at least 1% vote share in the last general election in the Lok Sabha. So you can see that most of the political parties will be coming under this ambit, and you can donate to most of the political parties, right? This will be done through the State Bank of India. State Bank of India will be the dedicated bank for this electoral funding. And most of the years, like in January, in April, in October, in July, for 10 days, you can purchase electoral bonds and you can give this money, you can give this bond to your favorite political parties as a donations, right? What will be the denomination of this electoral bonds? It will be in the multiple of either 1,000 rupees, either 10,000 rupees, either 1 lakh rupees, either 10 lakh rupees, or either even 1 crore rupees. So big corporates, they take money, they purchase electoral bonds in 1 crore denominations itself. Now, what is the best part of this electoral bonds? First thing first, it is anonymous. on the bond there will not be written who is donating and to whom it is being donated, right? So that is there, it will be anonymous. Plus the purchase can be done only through the dedicated State Bank of India, only State Bank of India, no other bank, and that too only the dedicated branches of the State Bank of India. From there only bonds can be purchased, and obviously it is there in every state. Such branches is there in every state, so you can purchase from any state. Okay. Then you cannot purchase this bond through cash, because ultimately the aim of this electoral bond is to remove this corruption, black money, right? So you cannot purchase the bond using cash, but obviously you can purchase it through the check or digital transactions, right? So that is there. And the most interesting part is there is no cap on the number of electoral bonds a person or a company can purchase. There is absolutely no cap. So just imagine how much a big corporate companies can fund to the political parties, right? As well as whenever you are giving this bond to some political party, to your favorite political party, that political party will be encashing it within 15 days itself. After that, it will not be valid, right? Therefore, all the political parties has to open an account, okay, and that will be a dedicated account which will be verified by the Election Commission of India, and in this account itself electoral bonds will be submitted, right? So this you have understood. Now there is huge hue and cry about this electoral bonds. Why? Because before this concept of electoral bond has emerged, there was a limit on the electoral funding, and this limit was 7.5%. A company could donate only 7.5% of the average net profit of a company in the preceding 3 years, right? As well as there was other restrictions also. But by bringing the electoral bonds, several acts has been amended, like the Companies Act 2023, FCRA Act, right, Representation of People's Act. Several acts has been amended to bring these provisions, okay? And by amending these features, the electoral bonds feature, now the government amended these features, and now you can donate unlimited money to any political parties. There is no restrictions. There is no upper limit. There is no such 7.5% limit. Okay. So do you think this is to remove the corruption, or will it promote more corruption? Right. As per the Association of Democratic Rights, from the 2016-17 to 2021-22, there has been 9,188 crores electoral, means this much sum of electoral bonds has been purchased. Of this, 57% has been donated to the ruling political party itself. And not only this, including all, means total this 9,000 crore, total 7 national parties are there, as well as the 24 regional parties are there, who has got electoral bonds, right? Now these are the petitioners: Communist Party of India, Common Cause, and Association Democratic Rights. What do they say? They say that these electoral bonds has opened a floodgates to unlimited political donations. Why? Because the Companies Act 2023 has now been amended, and there is no upper limit on how much there can be donations, right? Plus it has legitimized electoral corruption on a huge scale. How? Because you can understand that only the dedicated bank is State Bank of India, and that is under the control of the government. So government at any given point of time can ask that who is contributing to which political party, right? So that information will always be there with the government, right? Plus, if there is anonymity, so before taking the favor, corporate sectors will be donating more and they will be taking favors from the government. So that can be an issue. Plus, the petitioner said it also violates Article 19(1)(a), means where the right to know is there under the right to freedom of speech and expression, means all the voters has right to know that from where the electoral bonds coming to which political party. The political party they are going to vote, they are from where the money is coming to that political party, right? They have also objected that the amendment done to the Companies Act 2023, which exempts the companies from divulging details of the political contribution in the annual profit and losses, is an opacity, means through the electoral bond scheme. Now this has also been done that earlier the political parties had to show how much money they want to contribute, how much they have contributed to political party. Even now even that is not required to show. So there is opacity. Then section 29C of the Representation Act has been amended to exempt political parties from informing the Election Commission of India about the details of contribution made to them through the electoral bonds. So even the Election Commission of India is not able to know from where this electoral, who has submitted this electoral bond to political party, from where this bond is coming, right? So that opacity is also there. Now, what does the government says? What are the government defense? The government defense says that the political party will be receiving this money only through an authorized bank account. So at any given time, such bank accounts can be checked and it can be seen that if any misappropriation case is there or not, right? Plus, the bonds have no name or receive and no donor as well as the receiving political parties. Therefore, it promotes transparency, right? As well as the methodology of the receiving money is absolutely transparent. Why? Because only through the check as well as the digital transaction these bonds can be purchased, not through the cash, right? Plus, citizens have, this is very interesting point, the citizen have the right of the citizens to be aware of the candidates' criminal antecedents cannot be extrapolated to mean that they have the right to information regarding the funding of the political parties. So citizen has the right to know means the criminal antecedents of the candidates. They do not have right to know from where the political party is getting funding, right? So do not extrapolate this right to information or right to know, just limit it to whatever it is. So this has been the government defense. Surprisingly, you would know that even the Election Commission of India as well as the RBI, these are against this electoral bonds, and it has given several suggestions also. Like the foreign funding, electoral bonds would wreak transparency in the political funding and invite for the foreign corporate power to impact Indian politics. What does this say? Means there can be foreign funding as well, right? So this will impact the foreigners will impact the Indian political system, Indian election system, right? Then there can be emergence of some shell companies, and that shell companies will only for purchasing electoral bonds and giving it to the political parties. There will not be any other purpose for that shell companies, right? So such shell companies may erupt, as well as it is a retrograde step. Instead of bringing transparency into the system of electoral funding, you are going backward, right? So this is a retrograde state, as well as it wanted The Election Commission of India wanted only profitable companies with proved track records to fund for the election. Right? Electoral funding can only be done if the company is profitable and it has proved track record. Right? So these were the suggestions, as well as in the affidavit filed in the Supreme Court, the Election Commission of India has said such. Right? Then RBI has also objected these electoral bonds. How? RBI said that there is potential to increase black money circulation, money laundering, cross-border counterfeiting, and perjury. And this will be against the Spirit of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. So that is also an issue. Even RBI will face more challenges because of the electoral bonds. Plus, as the bonds are transferable, you are purchasing bonds in your name and you will be giving to some political party, right? So there are chances that you are purchasing for electoral bonds, you will be giving to Mr. A, Mr. A will be giving to Mr. B, Mr. B, C will be giving to Mr. D, and now Mr. D will be submitting to the political parties. So no one will understand that from where this electoral bond came, right? That is there. So this we have also studied what is the issue of the electoral bonds और क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स चल रहे हैं इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स के कारण. नाउ अगर ये क्वेश्चन अगर आपके पास यूपीएससी से रिलेटेड, मेंस से रिलेटेड अगर आपके पास क्वेश्चन आता है, सो हाउ विल यू हैंडल इट. The issue of electoral bonds, you can correlate with this topic, government policy and intervention for development in various sectors and issues arising out of this. Plus, you can correlate from the static as well as the current, like the electoral funding, electoral bonds. And if you see the UPSC mains question, then in 2018, one question was regarding the electronic voting machine, right? And election commission was involved there. So such issues may erupt in next mains, that is you can be asked about the electoral bonds in 2024. Let's see what are the advantage and what are the disadvantage for the mains point of view, right? Advantage is increased transparency in the political funding. Means at least what the government is saying, because there will be KYC validation, there it will be only through the SBI, right? There are less chances of misuse because only 15 days time period is there. After 15 days that bond will be lapsing. Plus there is anonymity, so there will not be any kind of harassment by the political opponents that you have given electoral bonds to this political party, why you are not giving to me, right? So such kind of harassment is not possible. Plus increased transparency at the party level, means can take money only in dedicated account, only in dedicated bank account this money can be taken, therefore there is increased transparency. But what are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages of this electoral bonds? Means whatever the petitioners of this case has said, that will also be coming here, right? So it is against the right to know. It is the violation of the Article 19, freedom of speech and expression, right? Plus, government may seek information from the SBI. SBI is a public owned bank, means government owned bank, and the government can seek which organization or which individual is donating to which party. Please give me all the records. So a State Bank of India will have to give the record, right? Plus there is no limit on donations. So after amending the Companies Act 2023, it has been there that there is no limit on donations. So any political party will be getting unlimited amount of donations from anywhere. It will also have crony capitalism. ठीक है, जिस कॉर्पोरेट हाउस को ज्यादा काम करवाना है वो ज्यादा पैसा देके गवर्नमेंट के साथ तालमेल करके वो ज्यादा काम करवा सकती है, राइट? सो दैट विल बी अ क्रोनी कैपिटलिज्म. एज वेल एज द लार्जेस्ट डोनर्स फ्रॉम द कॉर्पोरेट्स, इट हैज बीन फाउंड दैट जो 1 करोड़ वाला जो डिनोमिनेशंस हैं, आप बहुत सारे डिनोमिनेशंस में इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स ले सकते हो, लाइक 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 crore. So 90% of the electoral bonds has been taken in 1 crore denomination. So you can just understand that this must be very large corporate houses, right? So that is there. Then there are issue of foreign fundings. Foreign government as well as foreign institutions can also fund in the election campaign of India. Plus, it will undermine the basic structure doctrine of the India. How? Because free and fair election is the basic structure doctrine, right? So, if electoral bonds is there and there is anonymity, so when the money collected is not accounted, that is not through the transparent methods. So how can you ensure there will be free and fair election, right? What should be the way forward for the mains point of view? Then electoral funding has been in the news since several decades, right? So Law Commission of India 255th report, they have recommended that entire donations received through anonymous sources at rupees 20 crore और 20% of the total funding of a political parties इसको करना चाहिए, means highlight करना चाहिए. Then Venkat committee, it recommended the strict regulatory frameworks for auditing and disclosure of the party income and expenditure should be there, so that this political funding things should be more transparent, right? No issue of crony capitalism should be there. Plus Indrajit Gupta committee, they had said on the state funding of election. This is a completely different thing. So state funding of elections should be supported, means partial state funding of elections should be there to the recognized political parties. So that can also be a viable solution for the electoral bonds. So whatever the Supreme Court constitutional bench will decide, that we will be looking at. This was the analysis for the electoral bonds right now. Thank you very much.